What is up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. I'm Bray Thorne. How you doing? Sorry I'm late. I already put on YouTube. Starting, in 8:15, and then it's about 20 minutes after that. But hey, here we are. We're ready to talk about computer stuff. See if there's anybody who needs a little helping hand in figuring out where to spend their hard-earned money dollars. But I will maintain that it's going to continue to be slow until closer to Black Friday. It makes it a little bit unfortunate that I'm going to be traveling a little bit next week. Just going to be gone for 4 days. But that is in service of Black Friday. So it works out pretty well. But yeah, for those of you who waited around, who stuck around, who understand that time is a human construct, and I don't I'm more of a I got nothing, honestly. I'm just late pretty frequently, but that's how it goes. As if that explains anything. Anyways. I'm just had a few people. Bergie, thank you for being here early. Appreciate that. Alucard, how's it going? Ashved, welcome. Exiled Wolf, how you doing? Bergie, I am going for my first time. I'm actually going to Chicago on Wednesday. Haven't nailed down the flight yet, but I'm not the one scheduling it. So yeah, Wednesday. And I'm coming back Saturday. Then I might be going on another short trip, which will lead to a really one or two potentially really cool streams on the 17th. So no rest for me, that's for sure. Yeah, first time going to Chicago. Never been. There's a lot of places I haven't gone to be honest. What's up, Peter? How you doing? Let me say hi to the YouTube folks, though. How's it going, YouTube people? Chris, hope you're driving safely out there. Steve, welcome. Yeah. Cloudiness did get kind of in the way around here, too. And Alucard, of course, thanks for keeping a close eye on both streams. I always appreciate that. Z-Manskar, welcome. Good evening, chat. Hope all is well. Yeah. Doing pretty good. Will Baggins, welcome. Mr. Baggins. Hi, and hi, Gary. What's up? Check out the Shed Aquarium. It's really cool. I'm gonna leave that up to. Honestly, I'm leaving the duties as for what to do because I have stuff to do up there, and there's gonna be a live stream while I'm up there, including announcing the special Black Friday deal, building the PC live on stream, meaning someone's going to be who buys it's going to get the one I built, of course, tested and all that, verified by the company. Getting that PC is the greatest thing I've ever done. Happy to hear it. Rush Street 2. We'll keep that in mind, Gary. You may need to take a train. There may be some air traffic control issues. Sorry, that's what I hear. So we're going to see if I make it or not. I mean, as in terms of like flight getting canceled, okay? If there's flights that they approve, they're not going to just up and leave mid-flight. I mean, my only good thing I might do is PAX Unplugged in a few weeks. I mean, you might see some of Antra's stuff. They did a thing at last year's Unplugged. I didn't go. I'm just saying that would be pretty cool. That was I bring that up because, of course, last minute in the last stream. You threw out a reference and I got it. So, yeah, I do follow them, too. I'm going to be a bit busy, though. Have a PC to update and benchmark before shipping it out. Oh, okay, cool. Cleaning up my colleague's PC component boxes and creating an invoice for him. Interesting. Okay. TL Foreman, welcome. How's it going? How's the PC running? Maybe check the L. Somewhat cool. Okay. Interesting. The L? All right. I know things are a little crazy in Chicago right now. So, but we're not going to be in that much in Chicago proper, from what I understand. So we'll see. Avantris, yeah, it is fun to watch. Have on in the background, that kind of thing is usually what I do. I also really like what Shucharu is doing for the shorts. It's hilarious. Can't wait for your Black Friday stream. Yeah, I hope it goes well. If it doesn't, if the flight thing doesn't work out, I'm going to have to have them send me, basically do what I did with SkyTech, where they send me the parts and I build it here. Rick, can I ask, is Chicago a different time zone? It's the exact same time zone. It is Central Time Zone. It's okay, Steve. The shorts are just addicting. They are. They are. They are the definition of infectious laughter, because it's like they're laughing and it makes you want to laugh. It's just good stuff. Newest PC running great. Had my second live Twitch DJ stream this past Sunday. Went very well. Thank you. You're welcome. That sounds awesome. Very cool. Very cool. And all devices hooking up properly. No USB controller issues. I'm assuming you might have come in mentioning that if that was the case, or sent me a message about it. So it sounds like everything's working. What's up, humanity? How's it going? Yeah, Alucard, I don't know if you caught my in the outro. I flipped the mic back on and I was like, what'd you get? I got a dread against the DM. I threw that one out there. That one just gets me every time. It's so funny. Yo, Sick PCs. Sick PCs dropping a tier 1 sub. Let's go, nerds. Thank you, Mikey. I did get that awesome gift. Angry Beaver, what's up? We're still with the speed lines. Okay, all right. Mike, I don't know if you saw in the chat, I dropped the yesterday. I dropped the tracking numbers in the group chat there, so those are on their way. It's Chuckles or if it's Chuckles or Bitsy in it, it's just gold. Torbeck, you can't leave Torbeck out of this. Torbeck is just like it's such a great character. Yeah, I got a Stream Deck 5 Fine mic all hooked up, working well. Fixed FLX 4 controller connected, all good. Heck yeah, sounds awesome. Hope everyone's doing well. Same to you, Angry Beaver. Hope everything's going well. Doing okay over here. Got a bunch of travel coming up, and then I hope I don't have to travel for like a while. The one, like, so next week is flying. The one the week after is driving up to Austin. Oh yes, I did see that. Yes, sorry, I didn't respond to that. Yeah. I actually have to decide, Mikey, whether I'm going to cover... because here's the thing. You've probably heard me talk about it. But when, I used to do a thing where I would just cover all the Black Friday deals out there. And since I was able to last year, and I'm going to be able to this year, choose the parts for a build and figure out all, get everything done with a specific SI. I don't know how. I'm still going to probably do a video covering a bunch of, like, because that to me sounds like a great video to start back up. And then the projects I've had in the waiting in the wings that just need the final touches can come up after that, because I need to get the algorithm, the gears turning on that again. Doing a Black Friday deals video, so I'll probably mention it in there. Is what I'll do. But generally, when I do something like a 100 or 200 PC collab thing, I'll focus on that, and it just makes sense to do so, because I know what's in those systems. I got all that. It's just a very straight, it's just very clean cut kind of deal. But I also need to do, so I'll probably end up in those. I don't know how the RAM prices are going to affect Black Friday pricing. Guys, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of really amazing deals out there, other than stuff like on Amazon, which sucks, but it's because those PCs are all built, and like Amazon and Newegg have, a warehouse full of PCs that are built and boxed and like ready to ship. If they raise prices on those things, that is artificial. That is them capitalizing on rising hardware prices that don't actually affect the systems that are on their website. But I just don't want to focus on that. I want to direct people to system integrators for Black Friday. That it's just better. It's just better experience overall. Like, what good is it to pay the same price, but like, oh man, I got, instead of getting a 5070, I got 5070 Ti or whatever for the same price because I got it from this brand. What good is that if they're not, if you're gonna get crappy support from name whatever brand on Amazon? Of course, if you get something that's like a Skytech PC from Amazon, that's going to be supported by Skytech, and that's fine. But you get what I'm saying. Anton, what's up? 18 watching, only seven likes. Like the stream. Thank you, Anton. Appreciate that. And it's a good reminder. It's just a quick click that helps YouTube know, like, oh, hey, the people who are watching this are enjoying it. So that's cool. Silent Furies, 5-stream streak. Nice. Welcome. And Humanity, thank you for being in both chats. I always appreciate that. Yeah, the RAM prices are awful. We're updating prices every day, so the deals are still viable. Yeah. It especially hurts smaller operations like yours, Mikey, because you don't have a big stock of RAM that you bought at a lower price previously. And so these prices hurt boutique SIs above all. And that really bothers me. That they don't have the room in the overhead to, yeah. I miss being able to come in and hang out for the whole stream. Hey, I feel you, Angry Beaver, but it's, you know, just seeing you now and then is still awesome and special, and I'm always happy when you're able to stop by. You're not obligated to, though. You know what I mean? But it's always nice when you do. Other possible answer would be Jawa, since not everyone will raise their prices to extortion levels. Yeah. It is gonna, I mean, I think we were talking about it last time about how it's, you know, Jawa prices are not really Facebook Marketplace used part pricing. They're a little higher than that. But in this climate, in this landscape, it's probably going to seem pretty reasonable. And Beaver, indeed it is. I mean, I'm not going to say much about this because that's not what these streams are. But I have felt a glimmer of hope lately. It's a feeling I may have forgotten. I feel like I may have forgotten in terms of certain elements out there affecting all of us. You know, glimmer of hope. So let's just you know, hope balance is achieved again. That's what we need. That's what we need. Balance. You know, balance and stability is what the world needs right now. That's it. Not any one mindset taking over everything, or any other one mindset taking over. Just everybody working together would be amazing. That's all I want. Easy, right? TJ, what's going on? TJ Sparks, welcome in. If and when the AI bubble crashes, so might GPU and RAM prices. Well, Anton, the thing is, so the problem with the bubble bursting is that there will be far greater ramifications to that. However, it really mostly is going to affect those 7 big companies. Like, that's going to be the biggest effect, but there will be ripples of that throughout. And the thing also, you're going to be looking at a lot of companies firing a lot of people losing their jobs when that bubble bursts. So what we actually need for the whole AI bubble is, we don't need it to burst. We need a de-escalation. We need them to find reason, right? Like to just sort of like chill out a little bit on getting all this money from investors and investing in each other. These 7 companies are all just investing in each other and inflating their stock prices, right? Like, that never did anything bad to the stock market and affected real people in their daily lives and for people's 401ks and stuff, right? Yeah. Like that's got to stop. And the like rush to build all the data centers. Chill out. Relax. Like 90% of AI companies don't really know how they're going to make money. They haven't really thought that far through. And that is the aspect of this that is like the .com bubble. However, there are practical applications for AI in different things in manufacturing, in software, in some as an assistive tool for creative tasks, an assistive tool, not as the only source for creative stuff, right? But as a tool to assist with it. That's been that forever. Photoshop's had AI in it forever. Adobe stuff has had some level of AI assistant things, not assistant, but like an LLM or whatever thing, or smart AI, whatever. But just things like, hey, show me a picture. I'll find the subject of that. I'll cut it out, remove the background. Here you go. We've been using that for a long time. Those kinds of things. I mean, that is value. That does bring value. It saves people time. That to me is the ultimate reason for AI, is to save people time. It is the resource we cannot get back. RAM prices now matching the prices SIs used to charge for them. Orcast, I don't know if you remember from a while back when I looked at iBuyPower a lot, but I used to complain about their RAM prices all the time. I would tell people, get the minimum RAM. Get like a single stick of 8 gigs or 16 gigs or 8 gigs of RAM and just put in a kit yourself. And you can get 64 gigs for the price of 32 on their site. You know, I've already had to estimate people's systems at higher value just based on the RAM alone, even if they had it a few years. Just like some GPUs let people make their money back when they sold them during the bad times. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I am trying to make many more PCs to list for the holidays this month and next month just to use what I got for now. I was going to build a PC and now the motivation's kind of mad. These prices suck. Look, here's the thing. When this kind of price hiking was happening with GPUs, it was catastrophic because that was already the most expensive component in the system. RAM is not. It's one of the cheaper components in the system, but it's double the price. So it means going down a tier on your GPU or your CPU or something like that. And generally, it will cover the RAM. It is not debilitating. Thankfully, storage is also suffering, but not nearly as much as RAM. So, I don't know. We'll see. Sonic, what's going on? Welcome. Sonic 1000. Sailor, welcome in. At my warehouse, NVIDIA runs our inventory management. Really? What is not being talked about is a lot of AI is controlling drones that do inventory in warehouses. Well, no, that's useful stuff. Ramifications. I'm behind on Twitch chat, apparently. What's up, Dan? How's it going? Welcome. Yeah, I think GDP grew by 4% or something without including AI companies. Yeah. I mean, like, there are people who have... there are companies who have been able to expand due to this. But, of course, the big 7 companies that are the biggest valuations in the world right now, almost unilaterally in the last couple of years have fired tens of thousands of people. The one company that hasn't really done that, to my knowledge, is NVIDIA. And, like, during the shutdowns, during all that, one of the good things about NVIDIA is that they refused to do mass firings. They did not fire people when they weren't doing well. And that's one of the strengths of NVIDIA, is that they don't just go around firing a bunch of people like Intel. Amazon is already building up 600K folk getting the boot in favor of automation. Walmart too. There is the automation side that is going to make people lose their jobs. And if the bubble bursts, maybe those people get their jobs back. There's too many unknowns. There's way too many unknowns. Alucard, it's okay. Beaver is Beaver's an OG. It's okay. But yeah, we tend not to do that too much in here. I don't like to censor anybody though, unless it's hateful stuff. You know what I mean? Hate speech is not allowed in here, like ever. If it wasn't for AI, we'd officially be in depression. Currently, some are hoping they're too big to fail, and yet they're bleeding money. I mean, what we'll probably see is a lot of small companies will shut down when the bubble bursts, but the big companies will all get bailouts, and we'll end up footing the bill anyway. So Star Wars 2 videos cost them like $5 each. It's been said. Yep. They are going to start charging a membership fee. But you're good, Dan. Welcome in. I was pretty far behind. Braxton, what's going on? I hope you saw the tracking numbers there. The thing is, the 2 boxes are on their way to you. One quite a bit larger than the other. Still thinking AI will want real bodies and we'll see Borg walking around. Exiled Wolf, I don't know about that. But either way, I just want RAM prices to go down. Thing for NVIDIA is that their engineers or senior staff don't have to care that much since they have millions in stock options and do not need to care as much. That's true. I mean, there's certain company. NVIDIA is one of them. Steam is another. Or Valve, I should say. Valve is another. Where like people work there their whole lives. They just like work there forever. They're like they're tenured. They're not leaving. It's a small team actually over at Steam. Surprisingly, at Valve. Surprisingly small team. Welcome back, Chris. Sweat Lord, what's up? Yep, good. All right. I appreciate that, Alcard. All good. NVIDIA is the beginning of Arasaka. Okay, here's the thing. What does Arasaka do? What do they do in Night City? There's a friend of mine we've rated multiple times. Manly Reviews, Liam. He has a great video on Cyberpunk and the inherent problems with it. I personally like the game, even with its flaws. I'm kind of the same way with Tears of the Kingdom. Some very smart people have made very smart and very funny people have made very good good and thoughtful criticisms of both of those games, right? But what in particular, this one bothered me a lot. What does Arasaka do? Like, they make weapons, okay. What else? Like, when it comes down to it, when like Johnny Silverhand is ranting about Arasaka, he just goes over how Night City sucks in general, and how kind of the world sucks in general in this setting, in the setting of Cyberpunk 2077. And like, oh, well, you know, I was in the corporate wars and blah, blah, blah. Okay, but what happened? What did they do? And like, security, manufacturing, and banking are 3 very weird. It's a weird combo of things, Angry Beaver. Like, usually you'll have a security company or a private security company or whatever, or you'll have a manufacturing company, or you'll have a banking company. It's really weird. And then all of a sudden they have this thing that can put your soul in a little chip, your whole identity in a little chip, your mind, everything. Where did that come from? And then after you steal that thing, what do they do? There's like one thing where they come after you, and that's all part of the intro stuff. And then they're not intro stuff, but like the first third or quarter of the game, the first quarter of whatever. And then they never bother you again, other than when you instigate stuff. How are they the big bad? Like, oh, it killed my friend. Yeah, you broke in there and stole their experimental tech to become a legend. And then you failed in a legendary fashion. Like, yeah, they did do that in actual self-defense. Now, did you get framed for killing somebody that you didn't? Yes, you did. Does anything come of that? No. You can just spend the rest of your days just running around. Anton says, I used to work at a game store in Santa Cruz with Mike Pondsmith in the 80s. Night City was originally Santa Cruz. Really? Oh, that's cool, Anton. That is super cool. And my issue is not with original Cyberpunk material. It's with CD Projekt Red and the way that they approach the storytelling. And I felt the same thing that Liam did, and he mentioned in his video. Like, in the intro for the game, you do a thing, one mission where you meet someone, you do whatever, and then you see a montage of becoming who you are. Sorry, one second. And I wanted to do that stuff. Why don't I get to do those things? You know? Like, they could have made the whole Soul Killer thing the last quarter or 1/8 of the game. Okay, we got this big job coming up. We go in there, big climax, you lose your friend, and now all of a sudden you have a week to decide what to do. And you got to break in there, or you got to get this other person who, in all of your things that you did without Johnny Silverhand running around with you, whatever, in all of those things, you like made friends and allies, and you made enemies and this and that, and that's going to affect your end game and what you have as options to do in this time limited thing, because that time limitation just goes poof. Every now and then you stumble a little bit and you're like, oh no, and then you just go on with what you're doing. They took the end of the game and they made it the game. Like, how cool would it have been for Keanu Reeves to come out as a surprise as Johnny Silverhand in the last, like, arc of the story? It wouldn't have been a surprise. Obviously, they used him in the promotions, and they just made him central to the game, and that just took over everything. I don't blame Keanu for this. He's awesome. But, you know. FGN, what's up? What's up, Ray? Hi, I'm doing good. GTA 6 got delayed again? Hold on. You can't just say that. You got to say the date. You got to say when it got delayed to. Oh, okay. So it's like from May 2026 to November 2026. It's not 2027 now. All right, whatever. It's just something that, like, if they delayed it a week before launch, that would piss me off. It would. But, like, whatever. It's fine. We were still, like, 9 months away from it anyway, or 7 months away from it anyway. And I'm not even going to get to play it in the beginning, so. In Deus Ex, they let you save people, but didn't make it a massive story point. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it should have some kind of story effect, but yeah. I mean, Shinra is a fun example where a power company had their own private military. That's true. That is true. But Shinra had their claws, like, in everything. And the president of Shinra was kind of in charge of the city. So their private military was the city's military, basically. So make it interconnected like Skyrim. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good material in the original Cyberpunk, like TTRPG and all that stuff. And I think when they brought Keanu on, they just lost it. They just went all in on the Johnny Silverhand stuff. And he's already saying, I would do it again. I would do more. And it's like, you did there were some great moments. You walked off into the sunset in the end of that game, and that was beautiful. Just like, you're good. I need like five more John Wicks. Just focus on that. Yeah, from FF7, yes. Let me open up the list here. Again, guys, I don't think we're going to be doing a whole lot of PC matchmaking on these streams. I'm really just streaming because I don't want y'all to feel like I just don't want to. It's just like right now is where everybody's in a holding pattern. I am going to start looking into how to change the form for 2026. See what changes we need to make it a little bit better. That's something I've been thinking about because last time I just did it last second and I was just like, what are the things that bothered me the most? I'll just change those things. Then Phantom Liberty. Phantom Liberty was cool. I think Phantom Liberty had some much better pacing than the original game. It had, I felt like the stakes were better. I don't know. It was just good. It was good. It was a good game. It was a good DLC. Sorry. And the improvements they made around that time were very good too. Fish tank versus mesh would be something to add to the form. A little hard to put into, like, really easy to understand words, I think. Hi, I'm here for free RAM. Rarutu, yes. We'll have I should put up a sign that says free RAM tomorrow, and then of course the sign never changes. New fish tank meta, bottom intake. Well, I mean, yeah, that's a current thing. Put pictures, that should help. You would think so. It doesn't always, like with the name thing. Yeah, I'm not really excited for it anymore either. Kind of sucks that it keeps getting delayed. I'm thinking of upgrading my PC around 2027 when 60 series comes out from NVIDIA. Yeah, I guess that would be around the time. I don't know, man. It's just hard to get excited about NVIDIA cards now. It's just like, okay, great, another launch. I guess we'll be able to buy them in 6 months. Yay. Add AI to the what are you doing with your PC? I guess. That one hurts, though, Anton. You're pretty limited as to what you can put in those forms. Oh, no, I'm able to put pictures. I was able to put pictures in there, Mikey. I mean, I did it, but I'm begging for free RAM instead of a free PC. I suppose that's a new meta. Yeah, maybe. I guess I should add AI stuff. It's just like I rarely hear anything about it in these streams, in these sessions. So I don't know how. It would be cool to see how much of my viewer base that comes here is interested in it. But one thing that happens with those options, Anton, is that I feel like a lot of people when they encounter that and they're like, "What do you want to do with your PC?" They might be thinking about a few of the things on that list for the first time and being like, I would like to do that. So they choose it. And then when it comes time for me to help them, I'm like, well, okay, because you chose that, here's what we have to do. And then they're like, whoa, gaming is the main thing. Just forget the other stuff. So I don't know if it gets the most, like, I don't know how accurate all the numbers are. Other than for streaming, it seems like a lot of people who do choose streaming do intend to go up on Twitch or Kick or something at some point. I think PC enthusiasts are getting jaded trying to keep up with new hardware. Normies don't upgrade for 5+ years. Learn from the normie. Well, I mean, the thing is, whenever I talk about the latest GPUs or whatever, it's not in terms of, hey, you need to buy this. It's like, hey, here's how this thing runs. Here's what you can expect. And if you have something that's old enough to where you'll see a Like I've had people come in and ask, "Hey, I'm thinking of upgrading from my 5070 to a 5070 Ti. Which one should I get?" And I'm like, no. Do not upgrade within the same generation. That's crazy. I haven't upgraded for about 2 years now, except for the new case. A new case can make it feel like a new PC, though, Dan. If you combine that with a fresh OS, it will feel like a new PC. I tell you, the winners in a few years will be people who can leverage AI to do their jobs. That's what they say. That is what they say. I worry a lot about certain things. I worry about like our infrastructure, our grid, the power grid, about a lot of the things that allow our world to run. And I worry that not enough people are going to be interested in learning the trades of keeping those things going, because they're not glamorized like a lot of things. AI can't do that. And also the fact that like the number one response from kids when they're asked what you want to be when you grow up is like, I want to be a YouTuber or something like that. And it's like, okay, that's going to be a lot of competition, I guess. I mean, not for me. I'm saying in general, when a lot of those kids grow up and all want to try to get a piece of your attention. AI gonna make your electric bill go up to 20,000%. I mean, I would hope not. Package, what's going on? Sure, I'll hydrate. Welcome. Only upgrade to the same generation is to the top of the line one, like to a 5090. Otherwise, it might not be worth it. I mean, if it's something like where, like I did one for Michelle, where it was like Michelle wanted to have two 5090s like in a system, and we had to focus on just getting a system that could even support that, and then one GPU. Then it's like, yeah, get your second GPU later, you know. But people have aimed low for so long, the AI is slipping in like a friendly killer. I don't know. Local AI on low watt GPUs. I'm not sure what you're responding to with that, Anton. But if you're talking about infrastructure stuff, then yeah, that's still not gonna keep the electrical grid up and running, or run power plants or things like that. Yeah. I have 32 gig Kingston Fury Beast RAM. I am trying to sell. Okay, Sailor, here's the thing. People will rightly view that as like, I mean, depending on how you price it, because what are you gonna do to price that? Are you trying to cash in on the inflated pricing? I have a few kits of RAM that I could definitely do that with if I was trying to make a quick buck. But if that's what you're trying to do, people do already have it tough. But if you're just trying to sell it for something like what you got it for, then it's like, is that a waste? I have no idea how to approach something like that right now, Sailor. We need more small-scale nuclear power plants. That is being worked on. Not in the U.S., but there's like modular and small-scale nuclear power that is being worked on. Intel inflated the property values around here like it was a trade-off for being here, but little old ladies got pushed out of their houses when they survived on SSA. That's awful. Or chaos. That sucks. 5090s for business. You make your boss pay for it, or you use your business expenditure for that. Oh, well, Rutu, I wouldn't say it necessarily it's for, I mean, there's creatives who would be able to leverage it and do make some money off of it, but like as a freelancer or something. And that is for business, but they're not quite at the point where they have an expense account, or that they have a boss that would pay for it for them. But I get what you're getting at. I do get what you're getting at. And Sup7 says, link, yo, is this PC good? And Sup7, you can't post links in chat because that could have been a predatory link. It could have been a virus. It could have been something like that. That's very much layman terms on that. But so you're not allowed to post links here. And also, that's not how we do it here. If you see what Alucard, our mod here, did there, he posted the form. That right there is how you get onto this list right here. Because instead of coming in and saying, hey, is this thing good? Like, I don't know what's good for you. Guess what? Yes, it is. Most PCs are good. Is it good for you? I don't know. Is it a good deal? I don't know. So go ahead and fill out that form, because that way I don't have to drag a bunch of information out of you to give you free help, because that sounds like a bad time. Instead, you're forced to give me information. That's just a bit of advice I like to give out now and then. Those who hang out here all the time, this is old news, but if you're ever asking somebody for help or advice, provide details, okay? And not to be mean, because if you don't, it's just like, no, they can't help you. If anyone gives you an answer based on no information about you as a consumer, as a person, as someone who's trying to do something with a PC, they're not really helping you. They're just like, yeah, it's great. Here, get off my back. But I aim to actually help here. That's what I do. I couldn't get the form to work to fill out, Sean, says Sean Bra. Sean, everybody else is able to do it. So unless it suddenly broke, which I haven't really had anybody mention that to me. I'm not sure where you're getting hung up there. if you were taken to the end of the form prematurely and weren't able to answer any extra questions, it's because you're not ready to buy yet. Getting me to take the time to go over PCs with you or a parts list or whatever when you're 6 months away from buying, well, that list will be, or that PC would be completely different in 6 months. So unless you're within a month of making your purchase, it will take you to the end of the form and say, hey, please don't submit this form. You're not ready yet, basically. And then some people will see that and be like, submit. Why did I type that? Why did I type that out? Well, so maybe it would keep some people from doing that when they're not ready. This is like a super known question, but I would like to ask you, what % of performance increase do you consider a worthwhile upgrade? There's just not a number for that. There's not, I don't know. I don't have like a standard for that. Because for some people, a 15% performance increase is more than enough. For me, it wouldn't be. But my answer, rightfully, is not going to necessarily be the same as your answer. Before I was being sent computer stuff by companies, I rarely was able to buy any computer stuff. And I would only make an upgrade when my stuff was just not working. Like, I only upgraded my RAM when I got really into amateur music production and my 16 gigs just could no longer keep up in my personal gaming rig, because this was a while back, okay? And just things like that. So my percentage is probably a lot higher than most people in the percentage of increase I would want to see in a performance component, right? In a GPU or a CPU or whatever. Cash is doing good. I'm much better now. Kind of got everything sorted, sent out what I needed to send out, been able to rest. So honestly, guys, I'm gonna say something real quick. I don't think that it was kind of fun to have someone buy a really high-end PC and want it to be sent to me first, so that I could get a shot at it. It was the first 5090 that's been in the studio, which is really cool. It's out, it's gone, it's sent, sent off to Braxton. But as fun as that was, I don't think I'm going to be doing that again. Just because it's a lot of work to do that thing, to set up everything for a PC unboxing, get it all unboxed, do all the testing, do all that stuff, box it all back up, take it out to ship it out, do all that stuff. And while it was fun this time specifically because it was like I had not been able to touch a 5090 yet in terms of here in the studio for review purposes or for testing purposes. Aside from that, I mean, it's a time sink, and also I kind of hurt my back doing all that. So, and then it was like, oh, this is delaying stuff. This is somebody's computer that they're delayed in getting back because I hurt my back. So so I basically I didn't really give myself all the rest I needed. So after the unboxing stream, my back was like, yo, what was that? I thought we were resting. Yeah. For GPUs, I like to do 50% minimum, 100% plus goal. But for CPUs, when they're actually old enough to be limiting for a newer GPU. For CPUs, it's not a performance percentage for me or Chaos and Peckish. It's more of like, I want faster storage. Oh, this only goes up to PCIe Gen 3. The new stuff does Gen 4, yada, yada, yada. Or I want to have more M.2 slots. Or I want to have this. I want to have that. It's like the platform, like motherboard, CPU, that's other stuff other than just performance. But although for video editing, it was a big deal to upgrade. But when it comes to GPUs, I would look at more like, do I want to go from 1440p to 4K? That's when I would probably upgrade a GPU. You know what I mean? I went from a 1080p monitor to a 1440p monitor, so I upgraded my GPU way back when. So there you go. Percentage, I don't know what the percentage was. I guess I just don't think in those terms. Remember this, guys, like, there are people with budget hardware who don't even think about this. They have the PC they have. Their games run okay, and they have a great time. In some ways, paying too much attention to PC hardware is detrimental because you end up spending more than you probably should. Because it's like there's this thing of like, if I get this FPS, I will be happy. Will you? Are you sure? Because you kind of got bit by the bug, which is a fun bug. But it's an expensive bug. That sucks. Especially times like now. Robert Fixit, what's going on? Welcome. Is a link working for others on YouTube? Somebody on YouTube, please try to click on the form, see if it works. I need at least 100% GPU gains at near the same price as my old GPU MSRP before I even consider upgrading. But I don't play that many new AAA games. Ruchi, this just makes me think of how excited everybody was for the 3080. You know? It really did seem like a worthy successor to the 1080 Ti. And what was it? $699. And it was a monster at that price. And then, of course, crypto boom and pandemic happened. And it was going to be the next 1080 Ti. Basically how a Ryzen 5000 was great for its time, but you're buying that 5080. If you're buying a 5080, it's time to upgrade. Or Chaos, I would say, depending on what you're doing with it, a 5700 X3D with a 5080 is totally fine. That is like a lot. That's a fast gaming CPU still to this day. 5800 X3D, 5700 X3D, like you're good to go still. Those things are getting a lot of mileage. Like people are getting a lot of mileage out of those. I hate how my main focus of having a PC is just upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. I need this, I want that. And I don't even focus a crazy amount on the fun factor. Oh, thanks for verifying the link works. Yeah, the link's working, Sean. As you can see, right there. It's getting away from me. It's getting away. It's right there. Ah. Anyway. Yeah, Peckish, it's a little weird coming from me because I cover this stuff. But that's why I kind of focus a lot on pre-builts. And I'm even making it, you know, I'm even bringing back the production of the series about upgrading. But upgrading is not just about performance. The most important upgrades you can do are things like adding storage when you start to run out. Adding RAM if you're bringing on, of course, RAM is going to suck, but for a little while, for a couple of years probably. But upgrading your RAM when you're going to be going from just gaming to, oh, now I'm gaming, but I'm also wanting to do a little bit of video editing, or I'm doing some music production or whatever. It's about bringing a system from like if you make just a just gaming system or buy a system just for gaming and you want to develop it beyond that, there are lots of other upgrades that are inexpensive that make your PC way more useful. And I'm going to be starting with mostly those upgrades. Igor, what's going on? Hey, Brian Thorne left you a screenshot on Discord in general chat. Okay. Is it bad? Did something happen? What happened? Oh my God, Discord, stop doing pop-ups. Oh my God. Okay. Let's see if this brings us a little catharsis, everybody. This is the screenshot that was put in the Discord by Igor. How's it going, Igor? ChatGPT says, make sure I got this center. Okay. You're right, and I owe you an apology. I'm genuinely sorry for my unintentional, I like the parentheses unintentional, part in the DDR5 price chaos. The whole AI boom I helped kick off meant data centers started buying absurd amounts of high-end memory, which put pressure on supply and nudged manufacturers to prioritize server-grade DRAM over consumer modules. So yeah, in a roundabout way, that did help push DDR5 prices up for regular builders like you. If I could personally lower those prices, I would, but no one deserves to pay that much just to run Baldur's Gate 3 at max settings. ChatGPT, you know, like RAM doesn't have much to do with your settings in a game, right? Like a little bit, yeah. But that's great. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I'm gonna need OpenAI to start subsidizing RAM for us regular builders. But also, it's not just regular builders. I mean, this could be the kind of thing that really pushes boutique builders under the bus. Cash says, for those watching, Bray helped with my 3060 Ti system 4 years ago. I just got a great system for my power with a 5080. Heck yeah, there you go. Alucard, at least tell me what that is before I click it. You are, of course, allowed to put links. You're a mod. But, like, you could say something about it. Oh, Safety Inspector Duck. It was indeed his fault. Is that what the video is? I didn't see it in the... Okay. So I just read back to that. But I am justifying upgrading because upgrading gives the ability to build my brother a PC. But I need to think less than the upgrades, just having fun, to be honest. Well, I mean, that's it. If you're building your brother a PC, then yeah, that makes sense. Duck Safety Inspector clip. Okay. Okay. I didn't put those two together because it was Orchaos got in the middle of it. Not your fault, Orchaos, obviously. I have a 2020-21 Golden system, 5600X 3060 Ti, but I retired it since some CPU-intensive games made it feel old with sub 100 FPS. Well, I've got good news for you. 3D V-Cache might fix that for you, depending on your resolution, of course.
I saw a mom and her son all cut in half.
Okay. I forget the full content of this one, Alucard. This one is pretty messed. But how vulgar is this one? Am I okay putting this on stream since I keep things pretty clean? I haven't watched this one in I don't know, when did this? 9 months ago. Yeah. With that admission, we can try to sue using that since it admitted fault, JK. Yeah, I don't think that would hold up in court, Igor. Take it easy, Peckish. May not be your thing, but I'm looking to purchase Wi-Fi, a gaming laptop as... Oh, purchase wife a gaming laptop as she's not interested in a PC. I don't have any thoughts about laptops. The only ones that I've ever been considered being sent for review are all like very expensive laptops from companies because they want to push their very expensive stuff. So I don't get like budget laptops or anything like that for review. So no, I haven't. Taylor, I'm sorry. I don't really have much to help with there. There are other content creators who are much more versed in laptops. I would check out PC World. Check out PC World. They cover laptops quite frequently, and they're a very reputable outlet. So I would go that route. Or rtings.com. Ratings. We call it ratings.com or rtings.com. It's rtings.com. Running 7700X, 7800X T right now. That's a good combo. Cheaper than 1500X 3D, and the 5700X 3D came later. Fair. Jared's Tech. Yeah, another good channel right there. That's fine. It was about okay. I remember what was funny about it, but okay, all right.
But their legs had flipped. I saw a mom and her son all cut in half, but their legs had flipped over, and it was actually quite comical.
Yeah, I remember that too. Actually,
You saw that?
I was right there.
Mister, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, mister.
Oh, really?
It's not your fault.
Most clarity Bitsy's ever had.
Bitsy is great.
But I took it upon myself to serve as the safety inspector and promise everyone that it was very, very safe and to tow.
That was you?
Yeah.
Well, that was your responsibility.
It's your fault.
Well, you just said it wasn't my fault.
I know you were the safety inspector. That was your fault. That was your fault.
Well, that flipped quick.
love these. This is from Legends of Avantris, which is they're a D&D, like they stream their tabletop RPGs, and they're all very funny. They're very funny people. Yeah, their shorts are just are gold, absolute gold. Hey Braythorn, Just Josh on YouTube only does laptops. Jolin, I've never seen Just Josh. That's very cool. The thing is, I recommended PC World because I know that, like, I know their stuff. I know that, you know, and I know they're actually a media outlet. You know, it's just hard when it comes to me talking about PCs and PC components. It's really easy for me to look at a case and kind of determine whether it should have decent airflow or not, and look at a list of parts and say, yeah, this is a well put together list of parts. Laptops are hard because it's like, okay, the specs look all right, even though laptop part naming is really stupid. But yeah, that looks okay, and the price seems okay. Then what's the build quality like? How does the keyboard feel? Because it comes with a keyboard and a trackpad and a screen. How does the screen look? Does it open? Does it pass a one-finger test for opening it up? Like, there's all these things that are just like, how's the upgradability? You have to really dig usually to find out how much you can upgrade it, whether there's a full 2280 M.2 slot there available for adding storage, and whether it's soldered RAM or SODIMM or whatever. I know PC World. I know the guys there. I know their coverage is excellent, so I recommend them usually for laptops, or if I'm making recommendations like that. But that's generally where I would go. That's okay, Taylor. You good? No worries. You're joshing us, right? Well, he's a former Morgan Stanley executive director. What, really? Okay. And I'll check out his channel. And that's not me dissing any other content creator. It's just if it's one I haven't encountered, then might be like, sure, I guess you can check them out. But here's the one I would recommend. And, you know, PC World is they're journalists. They're tech journalists. I'm just a guy in a room. You know, to me, I always make that differentiation. I don't ever want to just self-aggrandize and be like, as a journalist myself, I didn't go to school for journalism. I did have someone argue that with me once and tell me, yes, you are. And that was Gordon Ma Ung, by the way, which was sobering for me. And I was like, okay. I was like, this is my favorite tech journalist telling me I'm a journalist. That's kind of a big deal. But, you know, it's not a title I would claim regardless, and I appreciate the fact that he thought of me as that. And rest in peace, my friend. Gaming laptops under 800 would be weak at gaming. So older games. Well, I mean, the thing is, when you're looking at a price like that for a gaming laptop, you start looking at used hardware, and that's usually a place to start. It is a little tough for to find something that's just going to run everything really well at that price point. But yeah. That's when you go to Best Buy and you look at open box laptops, and then you see, oh, okay, that one is a gaming laptop. Let me look up reviews. There's a lot of research involved with open box products and boxed product and non-open box. You just need to do your research, basically. Also has collabs with Jared's Tech. Okay, nice. Stepping away, got to take the elevator to the shared kitchen for ice. Okay, you got it, Igor. Absolutely. Okay. Well, we haven't had anybody fill out a form, so it would seem that the person who was having trouble reaching the form earlier is still not able to reach it, which is like, don't know what to tell you. Everyone else is working for everybody else. Maybe clear your cache in your browser and try it again. And then I guess, who was it? In Twitch chat, it was NSUP7. They were like, oh, sorry, okay, about the form thing. They said, hey, is this PC good? I guess they decided it was not, that they want to get an answer without providing any helpful information. So they can go do that. Just not here. Doesn't work here. Yeah, Taylor, I would recommend you can look at new ones, and that's when you would look at reviews of like video reviews, things like that. That'll be more up to date. But what I would probably recommend the most, if you have a solid Best Buy close to you, something like that, see what because I'll tell you, the one near me they have just a big cabinet with just like a bookshelf full worth of open box laptops, and you just go through looking at those. And if you see one that is in your price point that is quote unquote a gaming laptop, then just take that model number and type it into Google with the word review after it. See what you can find, see what people have to say. It is, yeah, Alucard there agreeing with me. Best Buy Open Box is a good thing to check out. It's kind of the way to go, I would say, for trying to game on a budget on a laptop. Gaming on a budget is generally easier on PC. But yeah, also Black Friday's coming up. Now, the downside to Black Friday is the number one thing I feel like companies, big box stores and third-party sellers like Amazon try to do is to, at all costs, keep you from doing price research and review research. They try to do things like, if you see a timer on the screen, understand that you are being aggressively sold and pretty much manipulated, okay? And I warn people of this with Black Friday coming up all the time, that there are some plugins that you can get for your browser, not Honey, okay? But there are some plugins that you can get for your browser that will show you price tracking, right? I don't know a good one offhand, so another thing to look up reviews on, I guess. But what'll happen is, of course, before Black Friday, they'll raise the price of stuff, and then Black Friday comes and bam. Oh, now it's on sale, and it's kind of just whatever the retail price was supposed to be. On the sale prices, whatever the retail price was supposed to be. And then they put a timer on it. So they'll put, oh, you only have 30 minutes to do, oh, how many websites can you search in 30 minutes? Not many. Yeah. So be careful about that. But yeah. Micro Center also has good open box laptops. I've purchased a few of those over the years. Yeah. Best Buy is a lot more like ubiquitous. But yeah, Taylor, if you live near a Micro Center, that's always a good option to go look at as well. I did get FE 4080 earlier today for $675. Damn. That was a $1,200 card originally. Alucard. That's crazy. That and PC part picker for components is good to monitor. Well, for components, yeah. Camel price history. Ruruchu, is it really called camel? Or was that a typo thing? May I please name a website Jared maintains? I would need to look into it first myself before I would have you post it or mention it in the chat. Jared's Tech is good. I would suggest going to check out the channel and go to the link from there. AMD X3D seem to own the gaming CPU charts. What's your thoughts on the Core i9 14900KF? Cash, I hate that CPU. I hate it with a passion. It needs to they need to take all of those CPUs, put them on a boat, and sink the boat. If you have one, sorry. I say that as someone who depended on a 14900K to run my channel, to edit video on, and it ruined most of 2025 for me. So, and then imagine that CPU, but add the F at the end. And I don't like F-SKU CPUs. They bother me a lot because a lot of price to performance, high volume sellers get F-SKU CPUs to save 20 bucks on the CPU, 30 bucks on the CPU. It's not the full price difference, by the way, that you see at retail because they buy trays of these. Okay, so it's a lot smaller of a difference. It adds up for them, but then they can't use that iGPU on the CPU to help troubleshoot remotely if there's a GPU problem for their customers they're providing tech support to. It would help avoid RMAs. They're crazy. I don't know what's wrong with them. But also, if someone is a content creator and they're trying to save some money and they get an F-SKU, no quick sync. So yeah, I don't like that CPU for a number of reasons. Also, Intel's support for 13th and 14th gen through the issues they were aware of and were still denying RMAs. Yeah, not a fan of 13th or 14th gen Intel. For personal reasons and professional reasons. Now, another thing is gaming CPU is it's just a weird combination of words because the number one thing for gaming is going to be your GPU. But CPUs get propped up almost as much when it comes to gaming, and it doesn't make sense unless you're a competitive gamer gaming at 1080p and trying to run like an over 500 hertz monitor, you know, and you're trying to get every frame you can because your career as an esports athlete relies upon that CPU. Then it does matter and it does make a difference. But for most people, like a lot of people are moving to 1440p where the CPU matters less, and then 4K where the CPU matters almost not at all is also growing. But yeah, gaming CPU is a lot of people who overspent and got themselves a 9800X3D when they're going to be gaming at 1440p or higher resolution could have just gotten a 9700X and had just about the same experience, except in a very small percentage of games that even at higher resolution still benefit from 3D cache, or if they put a 5090 in there, where you would then still see a difference at higher resolution with a 9800X3D. But the reason it's a big waste is that spending that extra like $200 on that CPU, well, you could have gone from a 5070 to a 5070 Ti with that money. And that would have made a bigger difference at higher resolution. It just does. It just does. So it's a hard it's a good question. And I want to make clear, I think I've made it sound like that was a bad question. It's not. Specifically, I'm triggered by any 13th or 14th gen Intel because it kind of killed my YouTube channel, okay? Basically, right around the time I lost my video editor and had to edit everything myself, my PC could no longer edit video. Therefore, months of no videos on my channel. And anyways. We're coming back. We're doing it. We are coming back. It's just, I keep getting delayed by travel, by other things, all that. Yeah. I love the hardware unbox video of 7600X versus 7800X3D versus 9800X3D. Not much difference on 1440p GPU below a 5080. 100%. Zintech, what's up? Welcome. Okay, got it, Rurutu. Thank you for the recommendation. Somebody I know got an open box Mobo from Micro Center, and it didn't include the AM4 default mounting hardware. So if that cooler had needed default mounting hardware, you were stuck. That sucks. Okay, all right. Enjoy your relaxing evening as I yell about computers. My work laptop has an i7. Okay. I want you to understand. I have spent the last months singing the praises of the Intel Core Ultra 7 265K to anybody who would listen to me. If you think it was just on stream, boy, oh boy, it was in person too whenever I was talking to other computer people. Trying to get them on the same page of what a good value it is. And it does seem to be stable. These things aren't having issues like microcode issues. Anyways, also, it's not going to have oxidation issues because Intel didn't manufacture it. TSMC did. Anyway. Right on. Anyways, I'm not an Intel hater. I hold them accountable for the terrible support they provided for a known issue while they were refusing RMAs for known issues affecting those CPUs. And the fact that they refused when they found out, when they came out about the information about 13th gen oxidation issues, they refused to release a list of serial numbers that were potentially affected. So people could maybe go and look at theirs was one of them. Or the dates when those were manufactured, the date of manufacture at least. They refused because that would be like, okay, we're going to be doing a lot of RMAs for this. They just didn't do it. I mean, there were changes in leadership after all that. The CEO stepped down. So hopefully they learned a little something. Did they? I wouldn't hold my breath. Core Ultra 7 was $300 and came with Battlefield 6. Nice. There was a time, guys. There was a time where on one retail, I don't remember where, if this was like for a few days, okay? But that CPU, the 265K, has gotten as low as $208, okay? That whoever copped that, copped the deal of the century right there. I mean, it's like $60, $70 less than most people buy it for. So it's not crazy, but still, it's very good. Out of curiosity, I'm looking at memory at Micro Center Online now. It seems something very weird. 2 sets of memory. Both G-Skill Trident Z5 Royal. Both. Okay. All right. So Bergie, here's a thing that happened when we went to the Santa Clara Micro Center. They had almost no RAM in stock. What you see there, the first one is probably the old stock that was purchased before. But actually no, CL32 to CL26. CL26 is very cutting edge. They probably just got it and it was affected by the RAM prices. That CL32 kit right there, that one they had before RAM prices spiked. So it is disproportionately separated in price. Yeah, Sailor, that's not going to be affected by the microcode stuff for 13th to 14th gen. That's 10th. That's a 10th gen CPU. Just letting you guys know. Still, now someone did come in late in the stream on Tuesday and say, "Hey, I filled out the form." I'm trying to remember who it was. JDJS Sushi, I think is who it was, right? Or was it Jesse? I think it was Jesse. So, this is going to be a weird one. It is in South Africa, so I don't really do much there. But they already provided the website, which is very helpful. But I told them what time I'd be starting tonight, and because they came in while I was raiding somebody already, or I was just about to. I decided to end the stream, and it was time. But yeah, it's just no new forms tonight so far. There were CL14 DDR4 kits that were expensive too, but most people honestly had CL16 or 18. Yeah, pretty much. I think once I find an upgrade, I'll have a good enough hardware to not need to upgrade for a long time so I can spend money on games for once. I mean, yeah, Peckish, if you weren't doing this in order to also upgrade or build a PC for your brother, then I would say just don't upgrade. Just buy games now. Just enjoy your PC. But no, I mean, if you have a goal of specific purpose in mind, then, I mean, that's you. That's your money. That's your system. Do what you want. Yeah, Alucard's right. It's not worth the price hike on that speed. It's diminishing returns, you know, in terms of price to performance. Alex, what's going on? I'm finally thinking of upgrading my GTX 1070 for a B580. I can't see a price to performance winner. Okay. Was there, Alex? Was there a question? Or are you just saying hi and what your situation is? That's cool. B580 is very cool if you can find it. Which just I haven't checked it this week. It might be in stock and available. I haven't checked it for a while actually, so maybe it'll be good. The one thing to keep in mind, well, for one thing, Orchaos did say, hey, it's only like a 25% performance increase, but it does have some features that are much newer than the 1070 Ti. You're going to have things like AI upscaling. You're going to have AV1 encoding, if that matters to you. More VRAM, I believe. Just things like that. I don't remember how much VRAM 1070 Ti had, but I don't think it's 12 gigs, which is what I think the B580 has offhand. Yeah. But just, yeah, what Orcast is getting at is the B580 is not as sort of high-end as maybe a 1070 Ti was back in the day, because they didn't release a B770 or a B750. They kind of just went mid-tier for Battle Mage. Intel just kind of went mid-tier for Battle Mage. So there's no quote-unquote higher-end Intel GPU this generation. We could have been looking at one that was going to be insane, but they canceled it. Yeah, Bergie, that was purchased after the price hike from their distributor. So, CL28 as well. Never mind. Going from 32 to 28 is a big deal. That's a lot of drop in latency. But it's also, instead of being 6400, it's DDR5 6000. Those kits are deceptive, and I feel like there's people who are on AMD AM5 platform that got that thinking, oh, this will be better than the DDR5 6000 CL30. It's not. It's actually demonstrably worse. You want one-to-one memory synchronization, and that's actually going to undercut that a bit. Saying so, hello, I'm just looking for suggestions. Only using 1080p, by the way. Okay, all right. I think Orchaos had some good suggestions there. Just depending on what your price point is. Because a 5060 Ti 16 gig is likely is more. It's more money than a B580 for sure. But I would say maybe that 9060 XT would be the way to go. The 16 gig version. Yeah. And the 16 gig version will be very helpful if you ever decide to go up to 1440p on your monitor. Because upgrading your monitor is a lot cheaper than upgrading to a new GPU, right? But if you're upgrading your GPU, you might want to leave room for that kind of upgrade down the line. The 1440p monitors are way cheaper than they used to be, and they're very accessible now. Does anyone know why Alloy DDR4 RAM is so much cheaper than the other RAM? Is it bad? It's not because it's bad. It's because it's cheaper. It's not a brand name. There's no brand name increase in price there, but also it could be more cheaply manufactured in some way. I've never worked with it, Anton, so I wouldn't know. But there's people out there who have worked with it and will tell you. I can't get the link to work to fill out the form. Keeps trying to sign into Google. Sean, that is correct. It is a Google form. I already responded to this at length and explained it to you. It's working for everybody else. Now, you didn't mention that the problem you're having is not an actual problem. Of course, it's trying to sign into Google because it's not going to save any of your information other than the answers you provide, which are not personal info. It's just like, oh, well, I'm going to use it for gaming or whatever. But it's a way of avoiding spam accounts from just bombarding the form. So yeah, it wants you to sign into your Google account. You must be signed into it. You're on YouTube. So yeah, it just means it needs you to sign into your Google account. Yeah. I did respond to you earlier and explained that it's working for everybody else. Other viewers did verify the form is working just fine. No one else is having this issue because, I guess I didn't know that you just weren't signed into Google. So we did have someone fill out the form. Okay. But it's not someone I've seen saying anything in chat. So I don't know if they're here. Anybody gonna claim responsibility for this one that just says David on it? Because I don't see anybody in chat with the name David. When you click the link, that's where it's sending me, not to a form. No, sorry, that's the wrong button. There we go. Sign in to your Google account and it will continue on to the form because it is made in Google Forms. You have to have a Google account to use and even just fill out a Google form. This is the answer I have already given you. Like, I'm not trying to be impatient with you or anything. But if you ask, if someone gives you the answer you need and you ignore it and keep saying, but it's not working, you have gotten your answer. You cannot fill out this form if you're not logged into a Google account because it's made in Google Forms. I have no skin in that game. It doesn't matter to me. Like, it doesn't do anything for me for you to log in your Google account. It just, most people have one. And it made it easy for me to make a form that literally everyone can fill out. And nobody's having this problem but you because everyone's just like signed into a Google account. So it's going to tell you to sign in so that you can fill out the form. I've said that before. I am saying it again. That's the answer you're going to get. I'm not going to make a new form for you in some other thing that you would also have to log into probably. It's already made in Google Forms. It is free help. You can get free help with finding the right PC or putting together a parts list just for you. This is all you have to do. Alucard, that's not going to help. They still have to be signed into a Google account to complete the form. Okay, that's not how David spells his name, Alucard. So I don't think so. But who filled out this one? Who is this? It's just no one. This popped up like 5 minutes ago, and no one is saying, "Hey, this is me. This is me." Cash, I'm fine. I don't need to take deep breaths. I am allowed to get frustrated with people who are acting in a way that is frustrating. That's a normal human response, and I don't feel bad about it. Okay. This one's filled out by don't need an account to submit form. Haha. Hi, big fan. All right. Well, whoever is having fun with that, you are skewing the numbers in my data, so don't do that. Okay, it's very funny, but this is important data to me, so try not to skew that with joke entries. Okay. Or Chaos, I don't buy into the whole like 8 gig is like the 8 gig 5060 Ti. Nah, don't go for that. Just get the 16 gig. They shouldn't have made an 8 gig version of that. But with the 5060 8 gig, totally fine. Someone at that budget, just gaming at 1080p, just try, they're usually going to be fine. There's people still gaming, playing every game they can get their hands on Steam with like a 6 gig 1660 Super, and they're fine. It's okay. The only reason I really complain about VRAM is because NVIDIA has the nerve to charge the prices they're charging with, and at those prices, it should have more VRAM. Like, what, do they not have the budget? We know they got margins. For Weedakit, Rojo says, I'm new to all this. Ryzen 9 9950X or 24-core i9? What's best? For what? For doing what? What use case are we talking about? Rojo. Leave the joke entries to me at least. Alucard, even your joke entries, I'm like, this is skewing my numbers. I just don't say it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I still feel that way because it's just like, this was not. This is sometimes a serious entry that you do because you're looking for my input on something. But you have access to just DM me stuff, which is, not everybody has that. At least now with the 3 gig VRAM chips to install, it should be easier to get 12 gig 6060s or something for the next series. I still think they're going to go for 8 gig Alucard, and they will argue until their face is red as to why it's fine. And they'll probably be right when it comes to the base 60 class card. But if they try to do a 60 Ti, 8 gig again, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I would do. It just needs to be 12. Why is there a 16 gig 5060 Ti? The 5070 is 12 gigs. What the heck? Okay, David, the person who entered the forum under the name David. I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna go over this real quick. It says if you're in chat and you just put your real name, you must have ignored like everything here because it asks you for your Twitch/YouTube handle or parentheses username, and I gave you helpful pictures saying this is what it looks like. This is the name that I need. Because I need to verify with what I can see in chat. And if you just put, well, my name is David, and so you put that, and that's not your name, like in here, okay? That doesn't help me, actually. I know, but if I enter another entry, it helps keep the stream going a little longer. I appreciate that. I do. There are times like right now. It's just gonna be a stream where I'm not really helping anybody. Like that's a viewer who genuinely needs the help because, again, everyone's just like it's November. You don't buy anything in early November. Nobody does that. You wait until the Black Friday sales start dropping, right? Now, just a heads up, the one that I'm doing, we might launch it early. And there are those of you who will be like, well, it's just, I might want to wait. I don't know if it's going to be the best deal. It's going to be a freaking killer deal, okay? But you might have the feeling of you want to wait until actual Black Friday to see if there's a better deal. And that's fair. That's fair. They're not these systems are probably not going to be like the other ones where they were gone in a couple days. Heck, I've done collab system where it was gone like by the end of the day or by the next day. No, it's not really going to be like that. Or it's going to be, it might be something where we launch it a little early. Because this is not a high volume seller that can produce a bunch of PCs very quickly as a boutique builder. And they take a little longer to get PCs done. So if it needs to be there by Christmas, and that's something to think of. Getting it a little earlier. At least now with 3 gig. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I wish Ghost of Yote. What's up, Asteri? How's it going? I was on the PC now. Been playing it a lot on my PlayStation. But anyways, hi. Give it a year, they'll bring it to PC. They just, that's what they do. They play a waiting game with that. For Weedakit Rojo, you asked a question, and I responded with a question. You asked, what's better, Ryzen 9 or Core i9, right? And I said, for what use case? You can answer that. Like, what are you going to do with your PC? Because that's the only answer that will actually help you, is to ask what for. If you're talking about gaming, neither of those. You get neither of those for a gaming PC. If it's gaming only, you're wasting your money. I remember your exclusive Braythorn Alexander PC's build was sold out in like 2 or 3 days. Quicker than that, Alucard. That one, I think, was a day and a half. That was like a day and a half, and they were gone. It was crazy. The thing, the Begenair, yeah. The thing is, I might recommend stuff, but it's rare that I put my name on it. That's like the Nintendo seal of approval, right? That's the gold seal on there. That's like, this is going to be good in this way or that. It's going to be an insane deal in terms of CPU, GPU, yada, yada, or it's going to be a really, really well-balanced, well-put-together PC. It's going to have this and that, whatever. Or, hey, this builder is super dope, and they're really good, and I trust them with everything. So it's just like, or just usually a mix of all those things in one way or another. But usually a little bit more of one of those things. Oh yeah, didn't think the GTA 6 delay was real. I honestly think that it won't be a thing anymore. What, the game? They're not going to dump the game, Peckish. They spent billions developing GTA 6. It is a thing. Just usually when a game dev says an exact date, it's usually exactly or a day off, not 6 months off. Well, Peckish, Cyberpunk was delayed and then delayed, and it was still bad when it came out. It was still really rough when it came out. But no, remember, these delays happened with Cyberpunk, things like that, with CD Projekt Red. So, Savage, what's up? What cam do you have? I like the movement. You don't want this camera. This camera is massive overkill for a Twitch stream. It's just that I have it because of the YouTube channel. The movement, is actually a DJI RS4 gimbal using, hold on a second, let me just gesture for it to stop. There you go. Just, you put up a hand like stop and it'll stop or start. There we go. And I'm using the RS4 Mini face tracking camera, which has an adapter that can go onto the standard RS4, so that it will then have face tracking. And then, let's go ahead and do the gesture again. Okay. So the gimbal's handling the tracking. The camera is a Sony FX3. Like I said, it is way overkill for a stream camera. You don't want to go that route. Yeah. I'm glad we're beyond the days of buying the best Intel processors, only the best, and it had barely the best margins, probably as it had the most L3 cache. The Ryzen 5600 stole Intel's gaming lunch. It did. And then the 5800X3D sealed its fate. Like, it's just, they're just, until they have a similar technology, they're not going to be on top of the charts. It's just not happening. And you have to accept, accept that, because Intel's going to be better for video editing, better for other tasks. For way cheaper than the competitive Ryzen 9. Because, man, AMD, when they come out with their 16-core Ryzen 9s, like, they charge a lot of money for those CPUs. I mean, the 9950X3D is still, and most of the time, nearly $700 for a CPU. That's crazy talk. Seems Japanese game devs are much better hitting their release date with the least amount of bugs. It's true. I mean, there is Game Freak. Scarlet and Violet did not go that well. I'll say when it comes to bugs, Pokemon Legends ZA has been pretty good, actually. I haven't really had it bug out on me, and in like a few people have. But the few bugs that have happened, have just those will get attention, but it's not widespread like it was with Scarlet and Violet. But this camera picks up all the different shades of purple in your room. It's true. That's why worth every penny. Really, the thing about the FX3 and by extension the FX30 is that, and now there's a newer version of it as well, is that it has an internal fan for cooling. And for a while, I was doing streams and videos in my garage, in a garage setup that I'd done. I had been planning on putting a mini split AC in there, but there were multiple issues with it, and I just could not end up doing it. So I ended up moving everything into this room and just taking over this room. This was previously like our PC gaming room, and I just turned it into a studio. Yeah, the crunch time thing is a problem, for sure. I know, but if okay, yeah, that's true. Okay, I already read that. I remember Bray's story time when we were all told that he spent way too much money when he started the channel because he wanted the high-end stuff. Well, see, that's the thing, Igor. It wasn't just at the start of the channel. It's been consistent. I actually started the channel fairly modestly because I already had a lot of like audio gear from just music production and stuff, amateur music production, that kind of thing. I had a decent microphone, stuff like that. And I had actually been planning on doing trying to get into voiceover and voice acting. So I had some nice gear for that. And then, but like I started out on Twitch using my phone as a webcam, or actually it was a Nikon D3000 or D3100 I had bought many years before, that in order to stream from it, I had to have the shutter button halfway pressed with a rubber band, or it would shut off. Crazy. Hold on, let me just... Thank you. Keep following. Thank you. And then I got a... well, it was a little mix-up that happened with the first camera I got, but I ended up with a... well, this one, actually. One second. Stop right there. Stay right there. I still feel like this is the best, one of the best investments you can make if you're trying to do both streaming and content creation. This is a Sony ZV-E10. And this thing you can get used for a pretty decent price. It would be probably body only or maybe with a kit lens, but this is a mirrorless camera with interchangeable lenses. And the lenses for these, because it's crop sensor, smaller sensor, are actually not too bad. And this lens in particular is a really popular one for this camera, which is a Sigma 16mm f1.4. It is a prime lens, so there's no zoom on it. If you need that, you have the kit lens that could come with the camera. I think you could buy it body only though. And this thing for streaming is amazing, but it's a lot of money to spend on that. You get this if you also want to make YouTube videos. Most of my, all my first videos on the YouTube channel, on this thing. I built the channel on this camera. And this is a quarter of the price of the one I'm using now. It's still really good. I actually usually use this for my top-down camera. This does 4K, all that. But I got my FX30 working again. So I'm going to figure out an angle for this one. And I'm going to have it somewhere in here so I can have an alternate angle for the stream. I missed the attic set. Oh yeah, so it was like an attic. Yeah, that was like our game room setup kind of thing. We had actually set that place up as a second living room too. It was a cool set. I put a lot of work into that, and I have a tour video of that one, which came out pretty good, because I wasn't like, let me show you the pretty side of this setup only. Nope, I got under the desks that I'd set up. I showed you all the cable management, the wrangling I'd done on the cables. All of that, yeah. YouTube channel is always a large series of decent scale investments in gear hardware. Yeah, it was really around the time that I had problems. So my FX30 was supposed to be the big upgrade, and because I was going to a cinema camera, it was still crop sensor, so I could actually use the same lenses I'd gotten for this. Because this is the same it's not the same sensor, but it's also APS-C. And but it was a cinema camera with a lot better features and the internal cooling. So I could use it in the garage with no problem. But then I thought I broke the HDMI output on that. And then the USB-C, but they're both working now. I don't know what happened. So I was like, screw it. I'm going full frame. and I got the FX3. Now, I've been able to use the FX3 to great effect. It's an awesome, durable, versatile camera for when I travel, for setups here, all that kind of stuff. It is a cinema. I could make a Netflix series with this camera. This is a Netflix-approved cinema camera. And with that in mind, the price is high, but it's kind of like, oh, okay, all right. That's the capabilities it has. As good as this looks, we're cropped in quite a bit, actually. Like, even just pushing this, I could just do, look. And that even is a little cropped in. Just this is not, it's not that this is higher resolution. It's just the fact that you got 10-bit 422 color. It's amazing for chroma key, which is really important for me. So it's also got dual SIM card, or you can do, what is it? CF Express cards, type A, which sucks because those are more expensive, but you have redundant recording. Or you can record your primary file plus a basically a lighter version of the file that you can send to someone easily that they can then edit, and then you just replace that with the high bitrate file, and then you don't have to send huge files to people. Those are called proxies. Anyways, but yeah, so there is a newer version of this. There's a couple newer versions of this. There's one of these that's called the ZV-1, I think, and that is more expensive. It is full frame, meaning the lenses you can buy, because this is not a Sony lens. No, this is a Sigma lens. It is absolutely awesome, though. Gives you a nice wide shot, but lenses for full frame cameras are way more expensive. When I say full frame, I mean a bigger sensor. Okay, the sensor is much larger, meaning it can get a lot more. It gets a lot more dynamic range, a lot more data, more light hits it, right? Anyway, so I wouldn't go with the ZV-1 or no. ZV-1 is the one with the built-in lens. That's not the one I'm thinking about. It's like ZV-E1. ZV-E1 is what it is. I don't know, whatever. I haven't looked at those in a while because I'm like, I spent all the money I'm spending on cameras for like the next 10 years, probably. I'm not buying more cameras. Not happening. The camera fixed itself because time heals all wounds. It saw me spending, or it pranked me. It was actually a Sony plant. It was Sony pranking me because they were like, hey, make the port stop working. Watch, he'll get an FX3. He'll do it. But the great thing about this one is that it's been out for a while and it has some really cool features still. Okay, like it has a hot shoe, so you can use certain mics that actually put direct audio into the camera. You have audio jack in. You also have Type-C charging. You have the HDMI sucks. It's micro HDMI, but I got this, which mounts to this. I have basically a cage around it. You see this metal thing that goes around the whole camera. It even adds this bigger grip to it. That's called a camera cage. And then I mount this to it, so there's zero stress put on the micro HDMI because those ports break and it sucks. But it gives you a full-size HDMI out. I rigged this thing up. This thing, at some point, I actually might sell it to help someone get, at a really fair price to help someone get started with their YouTube channel or something. Or if I know that there's I don't know. One thing that I've sort of been committed to lately is I feel like a lot of my favorite speedrunners have setups that really need work. And they're going to be, a lot of them end up, like they stream on Twitch when they're doing runs and speed runs and stuff, not to grow as a streamer or to build a community or whatever, but because that makes it easy to track their runs so that they can say, hey, no, this is an official score. Let me show you. I did it all live on Twitch. But like some of these, they're entertaining people and they've grown communities and stuff, but they don't want to fix their setups. I've kind of been wanting to help more of those guys out. Kind of like how I went and did. Now, Emmett's got a nice setup, to be fair. To be clear, Emmett has a really nice setup. But I want him to do more YouTube stuff. I think he'd be great at it. But yeah, he's probably not going to do it. But, I helped him with his PC because his PC that he was using right now was just really running out of USB ports and he couldn't expand on it anymore. So I was like, hey, let's do a PC build. I want to do more stuff like that where I work with streamers on their setups. My family had an old AT-DOS 3 computer. It released magic smoke. I thought it was a dead parrot. But after we let it sit, it returned to working into being an antiquated paperweight. Solid state electronics used to mean something. Yeah. Anyways. So let me ask you guys this. For those of you who are consistent viewers of one streamer or another, what streamer out there do you think really could use a little improvement in their setup, whether it be the audio or the video? Give me some. Who do y'all think could use a little work on that? Because I feel like there's a lot of I don't know. It's just because I'm not a gaming content creator. I don't really get a lot of good opportunities for collaboration. I mean, I have ADEF telling me like, "Hey, let's do a stream, a gaming stream," and I'm here thinking I just committed to not doing gaming streams anymore again. Bad timing probably, considering this and like this week and the previous week and the next week are probably going to be really slow for PC purchases and whatnot. But whatever, doesn't matter. I'm going to be traveling anyway next week. But Imit wants to do a gaming stream. There's multiple people who have wanted it, but it's just like nobody shows up, or a few people do, and they're awesome. Those of you who do, I appreciate you. But far fewer people show up when I play games than when I'm doing PC stuff. And yeah, fair. Nobody else is doing what I'm doing, focusing on pre-builts like that and helping the way I'm helping on Twitch. Of course it brings some people in, you know, like, I don't know, whatever. But helping with setups or going and doing PC builds and someone else's stream and things like that, that's fun. I had such a blast doing that with Emmett. That was super cool. And for those of you who watched, like, you saw that. I was having a great time. I've been thinking of getting a Fi-Fi setup to stream odd games I play. Like, what you mean, like weird games? I mean, that's an angle for sure. Yeah, you totally should though. Fi-Fi microphone's not. The AM8 is just a really solid microphone with a little bit of EQ. It's a really solid mic. Some EQ, some compression. Yeah, really. I mean, I ran that mic for a while whenever I was just starting to migrate to this setup. I can't answer them. All the ones I would watch are tech channels. Yeah, and tech channels generally have pretty good setups. It just tells you though. I mean, again, like that, just the body of the camera you're looking at here. And that means no lens, just this part of that camera. Like 4K. So whenever I'm like, I don't spend money on myself, or I don't have any money or whatever, it's not because I don't make any. It just goes into the quality of what I do, whether it's streaming or making videos. That's just where I put it. In a way, I try to treat it kind of like a business because that's kind of what it is. Kind of. I love the weird games I find on Steam at the bottom of all the lists. That could be fun. Yeah, you should definitely do that. So it's unfortunate, but we never had David show up after filling out the form. What a mystery. It will remain a mystery, I guess. We haven't had Jesse come back in, who popped in at the end of the stream last time. What to do? What to do? Johnny Boy says, hashtag PC build. Well, Johnny, I don't have a command for that. And it would probably be an exclamation point if I did. like exclamation point PC build would be the command if I did. But this one in particular is a 9800 X3D and a 5070 Ti with 64 gigs of DDR5 6000 CL30, a 2 terabyte drive, a 1000 watt power supply, and a really, really nice motherboard in the Montech King 95 Pro. So here's something I was thinking about, guys. I was thinking, because I took the GPU out of the Falcon Northwest build that was mounted under here. You can actually still see the top of that PC mount, the underdesk mount, because one of the big strengths of the Falcon Northwest Talon case is that it's really not very big. So a lot of those underdesk mounts, there's some of them that are really sturdy but don't hold a big PC. It just doesn't like fitment wise. So I was actually thinking of taking my whole streaming build out of the King 95 Pro and then taking the motherboard and that fried CPU out of the Talon case and putting this build in there and then mounting it under the desk, which would give me more desk space here. I wouldn't have to worry about my PC being up on top of the desk. You see the giveaway iBuyPower is doing. Are they giving away that whatever GPU, the red one? What is it called? The really, really crazy one. Are they giving that thing away? Because they showed it off at TwitchCon, Igor. And it's cool. $25 $1,000? What do you mean? $25,000? Is that what you mean? I'm confused. Wow. Okay. Let me go to their Instagram. Oh, 26,000. Just $1,000. Just giving away money. Oh, in reward points. Okay. Not bad. You can do a lot with $1,000 on iBuyPower, that's for sure. Especially if you use code. Actually, my code probably isn't functioning. Actually, no, someone said it was working. Man, I don't know. I should test it. I mean, yeah, that could get you a whole, like, unless it doesn't count to just buy a whole ready-to-ship PC, but it might. I'll just get a low-end computer and give it to someone. There you go. That, I mean, with that in mind, I mean, it's a lot of money. Plus, actually, if you go to iBuyPower's website, if you go to the gear store, they got a lot of good stuff there. In fact, I haven't looked at it in a while. Let's check it out. So you can get things like gaming accessories, gaming monitors, PC parts like cases, storage, apparently, power supplies, coolers, fans. They have their own sort of knockoff Lee and Lee fans. What, do these daisy chain? I mean, I guess so, yeah. I mean, you could really tell, like, this on Lee and Lee goes like the whole way, and yeah. But it's cool. It's a 3-pack for $29, $29.99. It's not bad. You can get height cases. CPUs? Okay. Yeah, just motherboards. You could build a PC. There you go. What else? What's under other? Nothing. That's a sick mouse. The Nezuko wireless gaming mouse from Demon Slayer. That's super cool. Monitors, keyboards, the height screen, which you can actually, I think you just use that. You can just prop it up somewhere and just have the screen on your desktop somewhere, on your desk somewhere. The Pokemon edition Black Widow V4. That's super sick. Webcam, headset, a duster, all kinds of stuff. I just, have a little shopping spree and do like a dozen giveaways. There you go. That would be actually a real big pain in the butt, and I'd be paying a lot of shipping probably. Oh, hold on. Okay. I mean, obviously, not really doing much here. Just at this point, just hanging out, which is fun and cool. But my buddy Emmett, who of course you may have seen me go to his place, do the PC build in San Francisco a couple weeks ago, was super fun. Is in Melbourne, Australia. So we're gonna drop a raid. He's just sitting there chatting about being in Melbourne and stuff. Let's go hang out. I think that sounds fun. Guys, come on along. If you're watching on YouTube, go to the description, click the link to the Twitch channel if you want to join the raid. I like raiding my friends on Twitch. It's a lot of fun, and it makes me happy. Let's do that. And say hi to my buddy Emmett. He's a really good dude. But we'll be back on Sunday. I might just do some gaming. I might not do PC matchmaking. So YouTube viewers, keep an eye out. Maybe on the announcements channel of the Discord. I'll let you know if I'm doing PC matchmaking or not. Because if it's just gaming, it's just going to be on Twitch. Might be a good opportunity to do one of those gaming collabs I've been kicking around for a while. Kicking that can down the road for a while now. So let's go ahead and do that. Come on and join me. Say something nice. Even if you got to go, say something nice to Emmett. He is a friend of mine, and he was an amazing host. Took me to a bunch of nice restaurants and was just like super awesome. So really, really nice dude. And he was nice to me. So y'all can be nice to him. That's going to be it. I'll catch y'all on Sunday. And until then, please have a wonderful weekend and take care.
Let's go, nerds!